Hi, I'm Ethan Lin, your GRT hand tools lead for the 2020 to 2021 season. This is the fourth and final video of our gun robotics team hand tools training. In this video, you will learn how to properly use many of the basic hand tools found in our robotics shop, including screwdrivers, hammers, wrenches, and many more. Most of the tools in our GRT shop are located in the labeled drawers in the combination toolbox next to the chop saw. The tools in the combination toolbox to the left hold wooden tools that should only be used with mentor supervision. There are two types of hammers in the bottom drawer of the toolbox. The hard face hammers have a steel striking surface and either a claw for removing nails or a ball peen on the opposite side. The main use of a claw hammer is hammering nails into wood. Ball peen hammers are used with chisels and punches. There are also soft face hammers with striking surfaces made of leather, rubber, plastic, or other soft materials which will damage the surface being worked on. Do not use soft face hammers to hit nails, punches, box beam, or other sharp edges that can damage the striking surface. A dead blow hammer has a loose shot inside the head, which allows a heavy strike with very little rebound. Choose an appropriate weight hammer for your task. Line up the hammer head with the object you're striking, and carefully swing with enough power to move the object. Screwdrivers are used to tighten and loosen screws. There are three types of screwdrivers in the toolbox: flathead, Phillips, and Torx, and each works with a corresponding fastener head type. Allen wrenches can be considered similar to screwdrivers because they are also inserted into the head of the fastener. Screwdrivers and fasteners come in different sizes, and it's important to choose a tool size that fits the head of the fastener you're using. To use a screwdriver, insert the tip of the screwdriver into the fastener, then twist clockwise to tighten and counterclockwise to loosen the fastener. Hence, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Wrenches are typically used to tighten bolts and nuts. Flat wrenches may have open or box ends. Open-ended wrenches have an offset, flat-sided opening that fits around the head of the fastener and should be turned towards the smaller offset arm. Box wrenches fit over and completely surround the head of the fastener and can be turned in either direction. Some wrenches have a ratcheting mechanism on the box head that allows the user to reset the socket wrench rather than repositioning between every rotation. Socket wrenches have interchangeable sockets to change the wrench size. These sockets are located close to the wrenches in the toolbox. Often, wrenches are used in pairs, with one wrench held stationary and another spun to tighten or loosen a bolt. It's easy to over-tighten a fastener with a wrench, so use caution to avoid damaging your fastener. Adjustable wrenches are used on pneumatic fittings only. Pliers are used to hold objects more firmly than you can with your hands. There are different pliers for different uses, including vice grips, channel locks, and needle nose pliers. Vice grips and channel locks are adjustable, and vice grips can be locked. Needle nose pliers are useful for reaching into small areas, but should not be used for twisting. To use pliers, simply open the head by opening the handles of the pliers, and grab onto something by closing the handles. Pliers are not to be used on nuts, bolts, or screws. Wire cutters, used to cut wires and zip ties, are located in both the controls area and in the toolbox. They have handles like pliers and sharp, angled cutting edges at the tip. To use wire cutters, open the handles, then close it to bite into something. Wire cutters should not be used to hold or clamp objects. There are two types of punches, the center punch with a pointed end, and the drift punch with a flat end. Center punches are used to make a divot in a metal surface to keep your drill bit from walking when you're drilling. Drift punches are most often used to remove rivets. To remove a rivet, the rivet head has to be drilled off. And then, the shaft can be pushed out with a punch. To use a punch, strike a ball peen hammer against the wider end of the punch, with the tip pressing against your material. Metal cutting chisels are used for cutting bolts and welds, and are kept in the puncher's drawer. To use a chisel, hold the shaft with vice grips and strike the head of the chisel firmly with a ball peen hammer, with the sharp tip angle pressing against your material. Squares are used for measuring lengths and guiding marking for straight lines or angles. There are two types of squares located on the top of the toolbox. Carpenter's squares have two graduated metal arms at a 90-degree angle. Combination squares have a ruler and a sliding head with flat edges at 90 degrees and 45-degree angles, and many also have a built-in level. The position of the combination square head can be adjusted by loosening the locking valve. The cutting surface of a file may be flat, half round, or full round, also called a rat tail. If any of the files do not have a handle, put one on by doing this. Flat file surfaces are used for filing edges or surface burrs. Half round file surfaces are used for filing inside curves, and rat tails are used for filing holes. The file's cutting surface can vary from fine to coarse and may make single cuts or double cuts. Double cut files remove more material at a faster rate. To file, hold the material and apply pressure while pushing the file away from your body. Then lift the file off the material on the return stroke. Files can become clogged with removed aluminum and should be cleaned using a file brush. Wood saws are used to cut wood, and hacksaws can cut metal or plastic. Hand saws can be inaccurate and don't often produce straight cuts, so it's better to use the chop saw or vertical wood bandsaw if possible. To use a handsaw, hold the handle and apply pressure while pushing the blade away from you. Then, release pressure on the return stroke. Remember to keep the blade away from your hands as it is sharp. Our shop has a variety of clamps like C-clamps, bar clamps, spring clamps, and wood clamps. Clamps are used to hold your material to a work table or to hold a vise on a drill press table. They are also used to hold pieces together during assembly or while glue dries. Most of our clamps are stored on the wall rack next to the toolbox. Box cutters, or utility knives, are retractable blade knives stored in a drawer in the front classroom area of the shop. They are usually used for cutting paper or cardboard. Be careful with the blade, and be sure to store box cutters in the retracted position. When the blade is dull, replace it before putting the box cutter away. Wrap the dull blade in blue tape before throwing it away. Tin snips are used to cut thin sheet metal, including curved cuts. Yellow-handled snips cut straight, green-handled snips can cut straight and right, and red-handled snips can cut straight and left. To use tin snips, open the handles, then close to bite into something. Make sure to lock the tin snips shut before storing them. There are many sizes and types of drill bits in the GRT shop. The general purpose bits are stored outside the vault on the table on the right side. Before using a drill bit in a power drill press, or milling machine, be sure to do the following. First, check that you are using the correct size drill bit by using the reference chart above the drill bit table. There is also a reference chart between the milling machines. Next, check the actual size of the drill bit, because sometimes drill bits are put away in the wrong drawer. If you can, read the size etched on the drill bit shaft. If not, measure the shaft diameter with calipers. There are calipers on the table where the drill bits are stored. Finally, check that the drill bit isn't dull. If it is dull, put it in the dull bit receptacle on the table so that it can be sharpened and put back into use. For drilling in wood up to 1/2 inch holes, use a metal drilling bit. For larger holes, see a mentor about using appropriate wood drill bits. When you're finished using a drill bit, check to see if it's dull, then return it to the correct container or the dull bits receptacle. If you find the drill bit while cleaning up the shop area, check the size and put it away properly. That does it for the fourth and final installment of our GRT hand tools training videos. I hope this video and its previous videos have given you all a better understanding of how the various hand tools in our shop work. If you have any questions, please ask them in class so everyone can know the answer to these. Stay safe, everyone, and I hope to see you all soon in the shop.